I have let my pride around not apologizing end relationships that were extremely meaningful to me. Like extremely meaningful. Where I was like I was very like factually like clear that I was right. You know, it was very obvious that I was right. You know, even in those situations, you know, when the relationships deteriorated to the point where like I no longer speak to those people are no longer in my life. I regret that all the time. So I approach every conversation with the scale on how would I feel if I never spoke to this person again. If like me and this person's relationship deteriorated based on my behavior. And I think that scale has told me like time and time again that sometimes you just got to back the fuck off. You know, sometimes like you got to push that barrier. Sometimes you got to hold your ground. But I would say most of the time,
it's a red flag.
Going to space, that's the kind of shit that I would want to have on my list of, and I'm willing to take some amount of risk to my life to say that that's part of the shit that I did. Because I feel like everything carries some level of risk with it, you know? Like getting on a plane to travel to a country, so getting on the highway, or planes
are shockingly fucking safe, but cars is the 100% thing that I think is extremely dangerous overall. That we've just come to accept the danger. Like if you're a listener and you're below the age of 25, the most likely way for you to die is in a car.
Oh, jeez, don't
see what I'm saying?
Well, hey,
if you're listening to this shit in the car, slow down.
Whole ass anxiety attack.
Well, pull over, because he's right. You're about to die.
Wait till traffic dies down. I don't know.
Like, the way like the airline industry operates is so efficient. And I know it feels like the end of the world when like, because I've lost luggage in there and I was coming back to Georgia. Trust them. Yeah, it made me not trust them either.
Y'all lose my luggage, but y'all expect me to get me through 20,000 feet in the air, like.
Exactly, but if you look at like
but they got you through that 20,000 feet in the air, right?
But even with the luggage, right? Even with the luggage, right? The amount of pieces of luggage they move versus the amount of pieces of luggage they like actually like transport, is infinitesimal.
They do it
like that.
But I'm like, it only take one plane.
The airline industry is amazing. It's a fucking miracle. Like it's a fucking miracle of like ingenuity. Like. Shout out to all the engineers, man.
Shout out to y'all. Which do we have a preferred airline that we like? Because I don't want to shout out ones because I'm not shouting
Delta,
out the
bitch.
One that
Delta, the preferred airline waving the red flag.
But see, it's Delta. No, like because they the ones that fucked over old girl from Abbott Elementary. So I don't fuck with Delta no more.
Just be kinder, just be nicer, because you just never ever know. Anyway, I just bought my ticket on American Airlines and we'll be flying now. Thank you.
So I'm just gonna be honest with you, man. The best in-flight experience I've ever had was Alaskan Airlines. Like I'm not even gonna hold you.
Alaska Airlines.
Like, that shit was immaculate.
AA.
They don't fly nowhere, but you know.
Yeah, but to Alaska.
Fly anywhere.
Why was he going to Alaska? Where were you going?
Nigga, I wanted to go to Alaska.
So, like, did you went to Alaska?
Yeah.
What were you doing up there?
Visiting, just like on tour shit.
What was up there?
Yeah, like it was a trip. Like I wasn't going to see nobody. I went to
Alaska just to go to Alaska. What's even over there? Is it just fish and dogs? Is Aurora Borealis? What's up?
Yes, all of that. That's what I went to see. Fish and dogs.
It's a secret. He don't want to tell us what's in Alaska. It's some secret government shit.
White bitches are in Alaska.
This nigga say it's a secret what's in Alaska.
This nigga nobody's ever seen it. Nobody's ever seen what's up there.
He's like, think about it. Think about it, man. Think about it. Have you really ever known anybody that's been to Alaska?
Other than Sarah Palin, my brothers?
I haven't, except you and Cuba Gooding Jr. Yeah, that's all I know. Yeah.
That shit's a myth, bro.
She said it's next to Russia, bro. That doesn't even fucking make sense. I can see
Russia from my backyard, nigga.
That sound made up. I too
wanted to go to Alaska so I can see Russia from the coast. To jump back real quick about the dangers between going into space versus deep sea diving. So this is like a pseudo analogy, right? Or just an analogy or a metaphor. No, not a metaphor.
Simile. Could be a synecdoche.
No, not even that.
Antithesis.
Whatever it is. Alvin, I mean, hey, if you guys hear it, I'll give it to me. One of my best friends, I remember he did like a study abroad thing in Spain. He had the option between skydiving or running with the bulls.
Okay.
Deathly afraid of skydiving. He was like, nah, I ain't doing that shit. I'm gonna go run with the bulls. And me, I'm thinking, nigga, is you crazy? Skydiving is way safer than running with the bulls.
But less scary.
In Spain.
I mean, the other way around. Okay, yeah, I agree. Logically, I agree.
Did anything happen to him?
Nigga, lo and behold, better believe he came back with a story. Because that would be the time when like one of the disasters of running with the Bulls goes wrong.
Right.
The Bulls fucking nutted the fuck
Bulls
up.
gone wild.
It was like the shit was on the news. Like it was a big ass like
shit.
stampede. Like motherfuckers was falling. Like they got to like the end. The Bulls was in the crowd. The people got to the end place. The gate wouldn't open.
Let us out,
safety
fuck.
and shit.
The Bulls
And
like,
niggas was just like, it was like World War Z type shit when like you see like this mass crowd of people, like, they all started like climbing on top of each other.
piling up.
And bro, like this nigga said this thing, it was not that shit fucking it's fucked up. I got a
Terrible
fuck
luck.
this evil, but that nigga said this nigga said, bro, he was like, man, dog, I fucked around and got caught up in like the pile up. And I remember like there was this one white girl that was grabbing onto my legs. And he said he kicked it off. And just goddamn scurried up.
I can't save you all, bitch. Just kicked her in the forehead.
You can't save
Get off of
everybody,
me.
man. You can't save everybody. That's true. That's
I gotta
real.
look out for me. I gotta look out for me.
He looked down, looked at her.
Some of them niggas gotta go to sleep for good, man.
Yeah, exactly. Bienvenidos.
We not all gonna make it, man. It's just
No, it's not. It's not.
cold hard facts of life type shit.
That's niggas die every day. Well, look, welcome everybody to Waving the Red Flag, the number one dating, bull riding, and survival of the fittest podcast in the universe. It's your boy Eddie. It's Alvin. It's Josh. Let's get into some topics. Speaking of carnivorous animals, are bulls carnivorous, or that just do they eat meat? No, they're vegetarians, aren't they?
Yeah, they're vegetarians.
Oh, damn, they seem kind of out for the vegans. You know,
It's sex competition, right? Because it's like they get big and it's like gorillas, right? They get big and strong to like fight other men off the women, not to fight prey.
Right. So they're real strong, but just for the members of their own species, because really they mostly just eat like berries and salad and stuff.
Mm-hmm. Like gorillas are the like quintessential example. They are almost entirely herbivores, but they have like huge like fangs. But that's for male competition. Yeah.
Kinky, bit homoerotic, very nice.
Them niggas is swole as fuck. Like some of the biggest mammals or animals, muscular definition are herbivores. Crazy.
Yeah, man. And they keep telling you need all that protein to be a bodybuilder, but you know what I'm saying? Look at these gorillas and stuff. That's not true. Humans do need protein, but you know, we're different. We are a different animal.
this nigga immediately rolled it back.
Right.
No, because Josh was agreeing with the shit.
I was agreeing with your original sentiment that in terms of bodybuilding, muscle bulk, mass, we don't need all that protein to actually get that effect. And
no, but we do though.
And shit.
You can get
the way that we
you can get protein from plants.
Exactly.
I mean,
you can, but it's more difficult and complex.
You're right. It's not efficient. It's not efficient.
Like, like the reason like chimpanzees and all them shit can do it without that stuff is because they have a different metabolism that allows them. They can produce amino acids that we can't produce. That's why we
can break down cellulose, and we can't.
Yeah, exactly.
We don't break down cellulose. We pass it. It's fiber.
They're a smart guy. Smart guys.
Right,
nah,
anyway.
I mean, well, you know, that's real shit though, because like we don't need as much. We don't need it as much as it's pushed. Like there are other ways around it. Like.
Yeah.
As far as like I'm just speaking strictly off of like just meat shit. I'm far from a damn vegetarian or pescatarian.
You trying to go vegan? You trying to get
hell nah, not in this life.
I don't know.
I
can
don't
see
know.
you going vegan easy. I could definitely see like
It would fit with your vibe, with your vibes, nigga mentality. You know what I'm saying?
Me? I don't know, bro.
You just got to date one Erykah Badu type chick, and I feel like you definitely would go vegan.
Nah, because that should get on my damn nerves, bro. Like have y'all ever dated like a vegan woman? And you not vegan, you know how difficult that shit is to be around them when you just hungry, you just need some shit, and it ain't you know. Sorry for you vegans out there. I don't no shade to you.
I get it though. I've said it before. I understand where they're coming from, but I don't think it's a morally defensible. Like, I will
also say that I will also say that Josh is 100% accurate that the average person, especially the average American, mostly the West overall, but it's 100% like worse in America. We eat too much meat.
Oh,
we do. Yeah, we eat way too much meat. Like
meat's
I'll never
trash.
go. Yeah, I'll never go vegan, but I definitely have cut my meat intake, and I noticed that it's made a difference. And some of that could be placebo, but I do feel better.
Yeah, I mean,
I
that's
think I
not how you do
go.
science at all. Like
Yeah, I go two meatless days, and I'm like, oh shit, man, I feel
meatless
better.
Mondays and
I do Monday and Wednesday.
no tuna Tuesdays. Okay. All I was getting at is just that like we can't do what like rhinos and like
Gorillas, we can't do what gorillas
gorillas
do.
do. Like we can't do what they do in terms. Like we're closer to like we do. Not we need meat, but we need either meat or shit that is like a more complicated combination of proteins to have like complete protein. Like we
Our
can't
body
live
is
off just
made.
like yeah.
Yeah, our body is made to get meat as a source. Like that's why we don't have the gut fauna or the
I like that
enzymes
word.
to
Fauna.
metabolize cellulose. Right. That's why we don't have that. Like our
Yeah.
body in current modern atomically evolutionary state, like is designed to process like easy, like less complex shit. You know what I'm saying? Like meat works for us a lot better. So we don't need it, but like that shit makes it easier. Like it's metabolically like better than say
like
like
in order
something
to
that's
be
cellulose rich.
like to do like vegan bodybuilding shit, you have to like you need like technological cuisine. You need shit where they've taken vegetables and pulled all the protein amino acids out of it and shit and synthesized it into something that can meet the same needs as meat. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but it's just different shit. But yeah, I mean, I understand why vegans are annoying. I'm not going, but you're right. It's fucking us a lot. But I get it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I would just like
It
to
makes
say,
sense, man. It
I
makes
just like
sense.
to
It makes
say,
sense.
AB,
Like I understand where they're coming from, but
AB, I love it when you talk dirty. Gut fauna.
gut fauna. Yeah.
Give me that gut fauna.
That microbial.
Mm-hmm.
Get all up in them guts with the fauna and the
That
flora.
fauna. Jesus.
That sound like another word for pussy. Like throw that fauna on me.
Ooh, I wasn't even going
Don't
that
it?
way with it. I wasn't even going
But
that
don't it?
direction with it. It could be. Shit, it could. Yeah. If yeah. I can
That
see
fauna.
that. I can see that.
Yeah.
Give me that girl. Nigga, I was all up in her gut fauna.
She had
last
that
night,
fat fauna, goddamn.
Ooh, that fat fauna.
Mm.
Feasting on that fauna. That's what I was doing.
Ooh, Aqua Fiji fauna. That's good. I like that.
Mm.
Did y'all see that video about the chef who banned vegans from his restaurant?
Done with vegans. I'm absolutely done with vegans.
Celebrity chef John Mountain says vegans are no longer welcome at his Fire restaurant. The controversial ban came after a disgruntled diner made a complaint about the lack of vegan options on the menu, charged $32 for vegetables. He accepted the complaint, not the personal attack.
It's my shortcoming of a chef and I'm not quite good enough.
Chef Mountain making the snap decision. Sadly, all vegans are now banned from Fire for mental health reasons. We thank you for your understanding.
Go find another kebab shop somewhere that's happy to give you that plastic rubbish that you enjoy to eat so much. Go and enjoy your life somewhere else. I've worked for some of the best chefs in the world, and to be told that you're not good enough by some sort of influencer type vegan person that I'm not into the 2023s killed me.
Vegans were coming in complaining about his lack of options, calling him like a shitty chef, that he wasn't good at his job, and he said that hurt his feelings. So he banned vegans for his own mental health because he's worked in all the best. And to me, I think that's pussy on his part.
Yeah,
I think that's actually quite pussy.
Yeah, I will say it's one of those things where it's two things can be wrong at the same time. So like I do think that the chef was I think he was being melodramatic. You know what I mean? I think he was being
Definitely on some snowflake shit.
Yeah, I think he was being a snowflake, to put it mildly. So I think the chef is wrong. However, I do think that people are well within their right in their establishment to serve the kind of cuisine they want. And if they don't serve the kind of cuisine you want, then just go to a fucking vegan establishment.
I agree.
So I do think that the chef is wrong, but I also think that people are getting into this like thing where it's like I have to be able to accommodate every single palate with my specific subset of my restaurant, and I think that's also snowflake shit.
AKA entitlement.
Yeah,
but pushback. Okay, first of all, for the chef being wrong thing, I think what I don't like is when people act like you need like animal product in order to make good food. And in 2023, if as a chef you think that, you're a bad chef. Like if you don't know how to create, if you don't know how to use salt and fat and oils and protein to create delicious dishes that don't require animal products, you have an incomplete training.
I think you're correct, Eddie. And we don't agree on food shit. This is the first time we've agreed on food shit ever.
That's true. That is actually a fact. Like that's probably one of our strongest areas of disagreements. But Josh, I think, just called a technical foul on the play. So what?
Yeah.
I don't necessarily agree with that take. Because there are plenty of chefs who enjoy meat, cooking with meat, and they are damn good at it. And if they don't want to do vegan style food, or if they don't have experimented so much with vegan style food, doesn't make them a bad chef. That's all. That's all I'll say with that.
I think
I agree with Josh, but I agree with Eddie.
Part of what he was saying in that video was him being like, "Oh, if you want vegan, like," because there was a tone, and maybe you didn't see this section of the video, but at the end where he was like, "We don't have that like plastic shit." So it seemed that he didn't even have a comprehension of how a person would go about making good vegan food. He seemed to be coming from the place of, I don't serve bad food, and vegan food is bad food. And that, I think, can only come from a chef who doesn't know what the fuck they're talking about. Or you don't know how to cook if you think that. It'd be like if someone said, hey, do you have sushi at this steakhouse? And they said, oh, this is a steakhouse. We don't serve sushi. We serve real food. You're a dumb chef if you say some shit like that. You don't have to serve sushi, but to not understand what...
Speaking from a hurt-ass ego. But...
I was going to say, so one of the things that strengthens, I think, Eddie's argument, I remember watching a very specific episode of Beat Bobby Flay. And, they do their competition amongst, the two outside chefs. And then whoever wins comes on and they have to beat Bobby Flay, but they pick the dish. So this one chef picked a dish and they were talking to Bobby Flay about it. And he was like, man, I ain't never made this shit in my life. He was like, I ain't never even had it. He was like, I'm a studied chef. So I'm vaguely familiar with the flavor profile. So I can put the flavors together that I know will equal what I've been told this should taste like. And this nigga won. This nigga said he had no. This nigga just was like, I'm vaguely aware of the flavor profile. I put together some shit.
I ain't never had
and
it
equal. And to Josh's point, Bobby Flay's background is Southwest cuisine. That's how he made his name or whatever. So when they don't put something in his wheelhouse, it was some Italian shit. He was like, man, I ain't never had this shit before ever. But I'm gonna give it a shot because I read somewhere that this is what it's supposed to taste like. So I think that there's a validity to what both of you are saying, because there are definitely trained, world-renowned chefs that don't do certain things, but I also think that there's a certain level of familiarity with how flavors go together to make stuff taste appealing that somebody who claims to be a world-renowned chef should have. They may not be able to make the world's greatest vegan food. They may not be top-tier vegan food, but if you're a world-renowned chef, you should be able to put together a flavor palette that makes this palatable, even if it's not top tier.
And part of being a chef is not just if you're a head chef, you're not a line cook. If you're a head chef, part of what you do is menu design. You figure out what's in demand in your little cool neighborhood or your little city, and you create dishes. You create courses. When you're a head chef, you're not just a cook. You're a designer of a restaurant experience. And so you should be able to go, okay, cool. We want to add, because we know the people around here are vegan. We need to be able to create a vegan dish. What is the chemistry, cuisine, history, cuisine, styles that we want to bring in to create that dish? That's your job. You're a creative director of a restaurant.
But you're also well within your right to say, I don't want to do a vegan restaurant, so therefore I don't have anything vegan on my menu. You're well within your right to do that shit. That's totally that's 100%
You
fine.
had that right. You had that right. Yeah,
we don't do nothing wrong with that. Yeah, we don't do
no
that.
Substitutions. You can't have some shit without butter. The menu is what the fuck the menu is.
Go somewhere else.
We don't do that here. Cool. I think that's relatively fair.
I don't go to Applebee's and expect them to bring me out Red Lobster Cheddar Bay biscuits. You know what I'm saying? It's I go to Red Lobster when I want Cheddar Bay biscuits.
Now we got to get into the question of the political and moral aspect of veganism, right? This isn't just I like chocolate. It's you're saying
fair. Yeah.
We want to see restaurants show responsibility for the ethics and the politics of what we view in the world, and every restaurant needs to accommodate that. You can't go to a restaurant and be like, y'all niggas don't have a wheelchair ramp. Yeah. Well, nigga, this is a walk-in restaurant, motherfucker. It's a walk-in, so you better wheel the fuck out. We don't do that around here. And I realize, Josh, it probably sounds like I'm making kind of a low-key crazy argument, but
I'm trying to figure. My immediate thing was what are the politics and what are the ethics that the vegans want enforced across the board in the restaurants? What is that? What does that look like?
I think it's two. I think the two main things that I think of as being the most like compelling arguments that they make are, one, it's just a straight like you're eating sentient beings. You know what I mean? Or even if you want to go like more low hanging fruit, you're contributing to like factory farming, which results in lots of animal suffering. So that's the one. So it's basically just animal suffering.
So and again, I'm a meat eater. I'm never going to stop being a meat eater. Just being frank, I do think that like
I'm gonna say never, like I said, like
so I'm going to say never. I will say that
there are tasty friends.
I will say that I make my stance by again for health and also for environmental reasons on dialing back, because I do think there's a way to responsibly do it.
Yes.
But that's what I was going to kick out. Like mass cattle farming, for example, is awful for the environment. Mass cattle farming in sub-Saharan Africa and in South America has been catastrophically destructive for those environments. Like slash and burn agriculture to make way for cattle in Brazil has made aspects of the rainforest like it's never going to come back. Like it's never going to come back. Like we've just lost it. So I do think there is a moral argument for having those options that I wasn't considering before. So I thank you for bringing that up, Eddie. What I will say is that I do draw a line between having it being compared to disabilities, because it's
it's not the same. I knew it wasn't gonna be the same when I said that shit.
I didn't make an active choice, for my disabilities.
To not be able to walk.
But I do think you have a moral argument.
People out there that was like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, you tell them it is like a disability though. Anyway.
But you're ultimately right.
But
your
I think it's
your core
actually
point is right.
Stronger than a disability, because it's like you're making a moral. You're choosing it as a moral stance. A wheelchair nigga, when he was born this way, he don't have no choice.
Nigga, cut that out, man. Like cut that out, bro. Cut that out. Cut that one out, bro. Like let's redo that one. Let's pause this segment. Start back from a reasonable aspect and then continue the conversation, because that was wild as fuck. That was wild as fuck.
Let me see what I want to do. This apologizing if you're not wrong tweet. Do y'all apologize even if you don't feel like you did anything wrong? Old girl responds and says, I don't have to agree with someone else's perspective to validate the fact that I could have harmed them in some way. Apologies aren't admissions of guilt. If you had no ill intentions, there's nothing wrong with apologizing.
Honestly, that's one reason why I'm thankful that I'm not young anymore.
Okay.
Because it's like after you get to a certain point, you just realize like just certain dumbass shit that, let me not judge. Say it was such a judgmental tone,
Man,
but
fuck it, bro.
I mean, but it's just like, because like you reach a certain level of maturity, and age isn't always a factor in that. Granted, because there's hella niggas that's my age and older that don't even get what she just said, which is such a profound and true statement. But yes, like if for me, if I have not been technically in the wrong for an action or something, but it might have hurt somebody because of the way that they took it, which technically ain't my problem. I can't you took it this way, but I will apologize for making you feel a certain type of way if when we actually have a conversation and talk it out. Because it's well, and if I explain my side, you explain your side, you explain why this hurt you, and then we dig deeper into okay, we ask why, we dig deeper into it. It's okay, the thing that you got upset at me about actually wasn't really about that. It was about something else. And I can apologize just for making you feel a certain type of way, but it's also a thing of both of us provide a space with each other where we're heard, respected, and our feelings are honored at the end of the day. And I feel like that part takes a lot of maturity to get to. And granted, once again, your simple age isn't always the defining factor in maturity. So that's where I come from with that.
So you feel like in general, young people are kind of more stuck in this, I'm not apologizing, I didn't do anything wrong type of space.
I might have come across too hard. I might have come across too harsh with it first, because it's plenty of emotionally intelligent young people.
Of course.
You know what I mean? And they know more than us. Mm-hmm. But there's also a certain factors where you can tell somebody's young from how they act and just kind of do shit and interact with other people,
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think it just comes with a certain level of, maturity and just kind of in a sense, wisdom. Once again, age isn't always a defining factor. Might have come off a little too spicy with the young folk criticism. This old
I'm
ass
not
nigga.
getting ageism. He's trying to fight the ageism allegations
know.
early. I don't even think you can get canceled for that one. Don't even worry, bro.
No, I'm not worried about being canceled. I'm
Not
just
yet.
like,
Then again,
I'm
no, I
just,
know.
I'm.
I know. You just
Niggas don't know
caring
that you're,
like a genuine.
niggas don't know
I'm
that you're trolling,
joking.
but I'm just
Goddamn.
saying. Niggas, but
Okay,
I'm
yeah.
just saying, I feel this way about, so I'm going to
Yes.
correct myself.
That's how. Yes, I like that. I mean, you living by exactly what you just talked about. So
I will say that I have let my pride around not apologizing in relationships that were extremely meaningful to me. Like extremely meaningful. Where I was like I was very like factually like clear that I was
yeah,
that I was right. It was very obvious that I was right. There were other people involved that could say like, okay, you're not on, it was very easy to say. And I would say that even in those situations, when the relationships deteriorated to the point where like I no longer speak to those people are no longer in my life, I regret that all the time. So I take those experiences and I approach every conversation with the scale on how would I feel if I never spoke to this person again. Like how would it be if like me and this person's relationship deteriorated based on my behavior in this moment and what spiraled out of this, led to me like never talking to them again. And I weigh that scale quite often. It's very hard to do it in the moment, but like especially like via text, it's pretty easy, after some practice. And I think that scale has told me like time and time again that sometimes you just got to back the fuck off. Sometimes like you got to push that barrier. Sometimes you got to hold your ground. But I would say most of the time, if you're dealing with somebody that you care about, somebody that you really like value, that you really have to temper how you approach things. And I think a good bare minimum example of tempering those situations so that you can continue to have productive, meaningful conversations and keep those people in your lives is being able to say, I'm sorry. This isn't always the easiest thing either, but I think at minimum you can say, hey man, I'm sorry for how I'm making you feel right now. I'm sorry for how I came across. Like that wasn't my intention. I think that's bare minimum floor level shit that you can do to help maintain your relationships. And I'm saying that as a person who has lived on the opposite side of that shit and like held my ground and I'm like, no, I ain't doing that shit, whatever. And it's been, I would say, largely something that I regret.
Yeah. I agree with that wholeheartedly. You said it better than I probably that I did.
No, you said it. You said it very well, Josh. And I think, I would just add some. But man, fuck all that. I'm not trying to say I'm wrong when you wrong. Like that's, but y'all make some good points there. And I think that like tempering, I think is a very good word and a concept because I agree. I've also like ended or like heavily degraded a relationship off of situations like that. But I wouldn't say I regret it. I don't think I regret any of those situations.
Yeah.
But I would say the tempering aspect of being like presenting this argument, this situation, or giving it the weight of importance based on how important the relationship is and how important this particular issue is makes a lot of sense. To be like, this thing ain't that big of a deal. I'm not going to make a big deal about it, or I'm going to present whatever I believe is my truth in the softest way possible in order to maintain things is a thing that I've definitely learned across time. Yeah. And like looking to like understand that sometimes there's a factual truth and an emotional truth and being like, okay, yeah, factually, da 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 da, but what you're trying to get at is maybe deeper and broader than this one individual instance. And maybe for that, I do need to apologize. But that said, if I'm right at the micro and at the macro, I'm not admitting guilt for shit that I didn't do. Like, and that's, I don't think that's just pride. I think that I don't want to make a precedent of being bullied into like viewing the relationship the way the other person, like, I feel like that's participating in my own gaslighting, and I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm not going to apologize for some shit that you did wrong. Like, no. And if that means us ending the relationship, I'm okay with that because it means that you didn't value the truth of this situation enough to maintain it through this interaction. So I'm not going to be the one who is constantly like, okay, sorry, even though I'm not doing that.
Can I ask a follow up? Can I ask a follow up? And I think, and I would like to ask, Yeah, I would like to ask the both of you actually, because I think you bring up something important. You specifically said if you're right at the micro and the macro level. How
Which
often
I've
would you
definitely
say? Yeah, how often would you say that that's the case? Because I would imagine that being right on both like in both realms is an outlier rather than the rule for most people. But I'm just curious on like for
I
you
don't
two,
know.
like how
Yeah, I don't
often would you
know.
say like that's the case? Because I feel
I would
like I
like you
feel
to
like
answer that question too.
I would say
Some
I'm
of the shit
usually
you done
wrong
said
at the macro
before.
level. I would say I'm usually wrong at the macro level. I would say on the micro level, in the minutia of like the answers, you know,
I
one
couldn't
and you
say
said two. I would say I'm correct
Yeah.
on those. I would say I'm often more wrong on the macro level.
But the issue of like, do I emote in a way that is whatever in this relationship generally across 1,000 examples? No, you're
Yeah.
right. I'm wrong. I would say I couldn't break it down in a number, but I would say I am wrong in the macro and historically have been wrong in the macro enough that it is an issue that I have had to and am continuing to work on. So like it is a problem that's on me. If that answers it just in a vague sense, but in terms of percentage, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah.
And to answer that question for myself, like I've definitely been wrong on the micro level, which turned into like a macro level issue in hindsight.
Oh, okay. What's that look like? If you
uh, I've grown from this. I'm still growing as well.
Yes, sir.
But one of the things like in the past relationship was and I'm naturally petty. And I'm funneling that into a better avenue.
Really?
I'm petty. I can be petty.
you have the capacity for petty, yeah.
I have a capacity for petty. One of the things in one of my past relationships was like I would do like this tit for tat thing. And my girl at the time, she said like everything doesn't just have to be like so tit for tat. And I'm like, oh yeah, like it doesn't. But in my mind at the time, I knew at the time, like, you know, I wasn't wrong, but I wasn't really grasping the full picture of it. And then in that time to make actual immediate changes right then and there, and then like seeing the effects of that, looking back on it, I can be like, damn, yeah, okay, I've grown from that. I know I shouldn't. I've lived this experience. Yeah. So. But she had her shit too.
83 cents. Yeah.
Petty.
But she had me fucked up too. Just so you know, Heather. It was you. You was fucking. He was fucked up
She
too.
had her shit too, goddamn. Because I could just hit a comment. Why can't niggas just fucking learn on the spots?
No, yeah. Because it's difficult. Like relationships are difficult in that way because you don't know. You can't read their mind. You don't know that they have your best interest at heart. That they don't want to fuck you over or take advantage of you. And so you kind of build trust to assume that is the case, but you still have to some extent protect yourself a little bit. And so it's difficult to be like, you know, and if you got some type of trauma, it's like every little thing that's a little bit of a slight, you're like, oh wait, are they taking advantage of me? Okay, no, that's an outlier. They're mostly kind, cool, but then it happens twice and it's like, oh fuck, do they really care about me? Are they willing to throw me under the bus? Do I need to tip for tat? Or maybe I'm tripping in my head because maybe to them what they did isn't a slight. So let me do it back to them and see how they respond to it. Oh, they don't like it. So they could do it to me, but I can't do it. And then you get into those cycles in your head. And I think that's human. That's regular. No fault in that. Not no fault in that. No shame in that.
Yeah, for sure. There's things that go into it. Like, you know, you gotta take your ego out of it. Because if somebody's doing like something that you don't care for, or you're experiencing like some sort of negative behavior, and I'm not saying like because I can even hear like I see some niggas being like, hell yeah, man, this bitch ain't sucked my dick for the last 2 nights, bro, man. This motherfucker tripping shit. I'm gonna be tit for tat. Like, you know, it's just on some wild shit like niggas can do.
I ain't washing no dishes.
Right, I ain't washing no dishes.
And it's like, bro, come on.
Like, you know, but if you experience like some sort of like negative behavior from your partner and you're not communicating it, maybe you don't feel comfortable with communicating. All you know is like your maladaptive survival instincts that you've been coping, that have gotten you up into this point in life. You know what I'm saying?
Tried and true, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, shit, this got me through high school, baby. You know?
From day one, these goddamn coping mechanisms been with me.
For real,
they never let me down.
But you know, but ultimately the whole thing with that is communication. But you also have to have somebody who is mature and mature and able to communicate back, and then y'all can actually make some changes together, y'all versus the issue versus this person is the issue type shit.
Now, one thing I want to maybe distinguish there, because I'm my like overall answer to this question is no. I don't do that. I'm not interested in doing that. I will not be doing that. But I also have to open myself up to the possibility that I don't have an objective comprehension of whether or not I am right or wrong in a given situation. Later on, I come back and find out that I was news to me, baby. This is news to me, but I found that out a couple days ago. Apparently, I'm not omniscient. Nigga.
Right. Can you believe that shit I did last week? Can you believe I said that? I can't.
This nigga said he found out a couple of days ago.
Apparently, I was scrolling TikTok and I saw some shit. They said, you don't know everything. I said, oh shit, that might apply to me.
And I thought about you. Know. Ain't that crazy?
You're right.
But I don't know, bro. Because hell, I think you might be overestimating your stance in this area a little bit, because I mean even just one-on-one conversations with us, you've apologized
because I'd be wrong.
Well, but you also have the willingness to admit fault for some shit, even if you might not be clear. We hash it out, we talk, but.
You've apologized for subjective things.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
But only to the extent that I have agreed. I think.
No.
Like I've never apologized for shit that I didn't. Okay.
You 100% apologize for things that couldn't possibly have a clear right answer. Like it was.
Okay. Can you think of an example?
Shit.
Assuming that it's appropriate for public.
My nigga, if I go scroll for like a couple seconds, I can probably find one. But I'm just saying, like. I'm just saying, I know for a fact.
Did I ask a weird question? What's going on right now? Was that a weird question to ask?
Nigga, I didn't think we was getting into real specifics on this. I think we was all keeping it pretty high level.
Okay.
But I'm just saying,
I was like, shit.
But I'm just saying, a lot, like there's, I wouldn't say a lot, but there are definitely examples where with me specifically, because your conversations with Josh, but with me specifically, you 100% apologized for things that were 100% subjective, meaning like there was no way you could easily say like either of us was right or wrong. It was kind of just like, yeah, my bad for how I was coming off or some shit like that. And like I've done the same. Like I feel like Josh is correct. I feel like you're underestimating your capacity to do this based on the fact that we have probably both experienced you doing this. I think that you just didn't conceptualize it as that's what you were doing.
Maybe, but I also, and this is a point that I was gonna make earlier, is that one, maybe I need to dial back the goddamn apologies because it sounds like I'm giving goddamn free candy away on these niggas.
This nigga's a real Lex Luthor. For what? Maybe I just need to stop saying stop apologizing. Okay,
we need to rein these motherfucking rashes back because y'all niggas getting greedy.
Valuable,
right? You see my field of fucks, it is barren.
I look at the inside of this bag. What the fuck? They giving
Not
it to you.
One single fuck
goddamn
found.
Crumb snatchers. Nope. But what I was gonna say is that I think there's a difference between, like, sometimes in my view, the word sorry doesn't indicate an apology. Like like when I think of apology, what it means for me is guilt, and I do apologize when I come to the understanding that I was wrong for what I did in a given situation. This was my fault. It was my responsibility. I should have known better. I now know better. I should not have done that. I will not do it again. Or depending on the situation, I'll attempt to not do it again. That's what an apology is to me. That's what I look for in an apology from other people. Me saying like, I'm sorry I made you feel that way, or my fault, like it came across wrong, is not necessarily an apology. It's more like it's an admission that my intention was not to harm, which is a different thing.
This nigga has completely compartmentalized his apology department.
Right?
This nigga's a true psychopath.
Bro, I was really about to let it go because I'm like, nigga, that's the same shit. But hey, if that's how you make it make sense in your mind, cool.
It's not the same. Hold on, it's not though.
This nigga has changed. This nigga was like, I'm not apologizing just because I said I'm sorry. When I apologize, I say indubitably, I was 100% in the wrong, and I would like to give apologies for my wrongdoing. Nigga, there's a word for what you just described. It's called sorry, nigga. Like all you
No,
just
but
described was saying sorry.
No, wait, hold on. Maybe I got what I'm saying backwards. I'm saying if I say all that, that is an apology. But if I just go, hey, look, I wasn't looking to harm you, that's not an apology. That's me admitting that I harmed you. That's not me. That's not an apology. Is I shouldn't have done what I did.
Okay,
that's not the same thing.
No, bro. Like, okay, go back to the original. Go back to the original tweet. When the old girl responded on that, like an apology isn't necessarily an admission of guilt, but it's an acknowledgement.
I'm disagreeing with the premise. I'm disagreeing with the premise, or I'm saying that I think that there's levels of what the premise of apology is in a conversation. And I think sometimes going like, hey, I didn't seek to harm you. I want to reassure you that my intentions and my goals here are to make sure that you're okay and that you're good. But bitch, I didn't do shit wrong.
That's an apology. You know. That's an apology, my nigga.
That's not an apology
for something different. It's an apology for something different.
Okay.
Your apology. That's what I was saying. Yeah. Like, okay. If I didn't do shit, like what you're describing, like that's what I was saying.
Also, I was just trying to add some nuance to the conversation. This is not me shitting on anybody's answer, so I don't know.
No, not at all. Not at all.
The real thing that I would say, like semantically, is just so that we don't get into the like. I'm happy to just say there's different kinds of apologies, and I have different views on how each of them should be administered. So if we want to say that all of that is apologies, I'm saying that there's different subcategories within this that have very different meanings and applications.
I think that this is actually one of those times where we're actually pretty all fairly fucking aligned. I think the Venn diagram. I think the Venn diagram is pretty close to a circle here. Like I think you're a little bit on the outside of me and Josh, but I don't even think the disclaimer there is necessary. I think we're all
and it's not even a disclaimer. I'm just saying I'm like.
Yeah, like we're very close to the same stance, I feel like. Other than you not knowing what an apology is, which is crazy.
All right.
I'm just fucking with you. My fault. I'm sorry if I said something that may have come across the wrong way. It was not my intention.
I apologize to that motherfucker though.
I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong, but I do want to apologize.
I'm sorry, it'll never happen again, but I ain't apologizing again.
I'm not wrong, but I do want to apologize for how that may have come across and how that made you feel.
I've been in arguments with the significant other and been like, look, I understand that this might have upset you, but blah, blah, blah. My intention isn't to harm you, but my stance on this particular issue remains unchanged. I'm not taking back what I did previously, and I'd like to have a conversation about how we can move forward. I think it's a very distinct thing from I fucked up. I'm not doing that again. Like those are different kinds of things. And I'm not saying that makes any disagreement here, but I think it's worth distinguishing those kinds of situations. I think both are necessary in order to have like a functional relationship. But sometimes I don't want to harm you, but I'm standing on saying.
I think both are apologies. I think you're right. I think you're right that there. I think you're right that there's nuance there. There's 100% nuance there. I think they're very much distinctive.
Yeah.
But I think they're both apologies. I just think we need to have a wider lens when we view what an apology is. So
I think that's fair.
But I think you're right, ultimately.
That part of the reason that I'm making that distinction is because the first kind of apology doesn't have anything to do with whether or not I'm wrong. So I think the premise of the initial question is, would you apologize when you're wrong, implies that there's a relationship between wrongness and apology. And what I'm saying is there is a type of apology where my wrongness is central to the apology. And there's another kind of apology where it doesn't matter whether or not I'm wrong. I don't want to harm you and I want to make sure you're okay. But I'm sticking by whatever the fuck I said or did or whatever. So in that situation, it don't matter if I'm wrong or not. I harmed you or you were harmed, even if it didn't have anything to do with me. It's like if I say I'm, sorry for your loss because your grandma died in a bus accident or whatever the fuck. I'm not apologizing, or maybe you could say that I am. It's like it's compassion being given. That's all.
There.
Venn diagrams. All right, last one. What we got?
Ooh, Black People Hygiene Olympics.
Oh boy.
I don't want to do this one, man.
I have a feeling.
All right, we ain't got to get into it.
Wait, what?
Because I already know some shit based on our food talks. Eddie gonna say some shit, and I'm gonna be apologizing after.
Oh, okay. Shit. Yo, let's go.
Because I already know where Alvin's gonna be. Because this is very much like part and parcel with the like seasoning.
It is the same. It is the same conversation. It is the same fucking conversation.
And we can go. If you don't want the smoke, we can move on. But if you're ready,
I'll talk about anything, bro. Like $200 dates, man. Fucking anything. We can skip that one.
But not that one. Okay, fair.
Let's talk about Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, let's talk about what the fuck ever other than this fucking.
Hilarious.
You don't want to do that. We'll do the other one you don't want to do.
Hilarious. Okay. Kidnapping my baby. Am I the asshole for kidnapping my baby, causing my husband to have a panic attack? I, 29 female, recently started working again after having my daughter 4 months. Daycare is too expensive, so my husband, 35 male, reluctantly agreed to stay home. It's important to note that he's been unemployed since 2021. He receives benefits. It's also important to know that he's extremely lazy. He doesn't cook, clean, or help out in any way.
I was love nervous that she just threw out the impartial shit entirely. One thing about him, this nigga's lazy as fuck.
Right. Mind you, because what I have sounds bad, but mind you, this nigga. I was nervous about leaving her home with her father, but I had no choice. When I came back from work, she was clean and sleeping. The next few times I came, he was either playing with her, feeding her, or out for a walk with her. I was happy. A few days ago, my neighbor told me that as soon as I leave, the baby cries, and she cries for hours. My neighbor said that she knocked on our door, and he finally answered it. He was sleeping. I concluded that he sleeps all day, and I was right. Before I come home, he pretends to care for her. I decided to take the day off for work. I left home at my regular time, waited 30 minutes, and then went home. Sure enough, he was knocked out asleep with his stupid noise-canceling headphones on. I went to my daughter's room, scooped her up, and took her to my friend's house. I waited about 2 hours, and I finally called him to tell him that I was coming home early. He called me back saying that he can't find the baby. He told me that he was going to call the police, but before he did, I told him what I had done. He called me an asshole and a lot of other words too. When I get home, his mother was there calming his nerves because he was in a panic attack. She also called me an asshole. My husband decided to sleep at her house. Family members are telling me that I'm a terrible person. I know that it was extreme, but I don't know if I would consider myself to be an asshole.
That's funny as hell. Baby, I lost the baby. Did you now?
You don't say.
Well, where did you last leave it?
It was in the crib last I checked.
Well, did you check underneath? She walking him through trying to find the baby. She got the baby in her hand.
It's like a fucking psychopathic shit. It's like a fucking episode of Modern Family. It's like some sitcom shit. It's like
that is a whoop doop 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 doop.
Yeah,
kind of situation.
A Roseanne episode or some shit. I don't know. Like
just not Roseanne.
I lost the baby.
What do I do? What are we thinking?
I don't. I think she's an asshole here, but I think he's more of one. But I think it's a weird thing to like do a fake kidnap. Like I think that's actually some really fucking weird behavior. I think that in a situation like this, what you do is you say, "Hey, look, I caught you doing this," and you see what the guy says, and based on that, you file for divorce. I think doing a fake kidnapping is
immediately. Oh, no,
immediate divorce. No, not immediately divorce, but just like
that, depending on the answer, extreme, ludicrous answer, possibly in the realm.
Yeah, and you know if there's changed behavior and blah blah blah. Because this behavior, I feel like from that guy to me seems very psychopathic, very lazy, very like. It's low key scary, like putting on noise canceling headphones while your daughter screams in the other room. Very neglectful. Mm-hmm. But I also think like I don't know how old they are. What did it say in the thing?
Yeah, he's 35.
29 and 35. Yeah, 29 and 35.
Okay, yeah, I'll toss that out. That's grown. But I think responding to that situation with it, because there's no purpose in that kidnapping. The only thing in that kidnapping is to make him panic. And I think it also just presents a whole bunch of danger for the child and like that situation could just go south in a lot of ways very quickly, very weird. So I would have just not done it that way. So I think it was weird and I think it was extreme and I think it was bordered on an abusive act to do in that moment. But I think that the way that he was behaving was at the macro level worse.
I concur.
Yeah. Yeah. Ultimately, I would have to agree. I would say that the husband is on some weird shit, or the baby daddy, whatever the fuck. I don't think they was like married. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, like that's really that is dangerous. That's dangerous parental behavior. But to be that negligent of a baby, like to have on noise canceling, I hate the sound of babies crying. Like, and part of me kind of gets
I hate babies. Like, no.
you know, like, hey, that's why I don't have none. That's why I ain't got none, okay? Because
I hate the sound of babies.
I fucking hate the youth. The youth annoys the fuck out of me.
I hate these kids. Not responsible for a goddamn
outside
thing.
on my balcony, just shaking my fist.
Get out my fucking yard. Well, we live here. We're your children,
the
Dad.
general
Get
area,
the fuck
bitch.
off.
I don't give a fuck. We're in the courtyard.
Damn.
But the noise
my
is
weekend.
in my apartment, you sons of bitches.
Pulls out a megaphone like,
Right.
I said, get off my lawn.
Yes, dangerous behavior for a parent, for sure. Very negligent, absolutely. Weird for her to, hindsight being 2020, weird for her to take the baby without saying nothing, to teach him a lesson or to scare him a little bit, to like, hey, here's, because she was on, that was some petty shit to do at the end of the day.
It's very petty.
It was very, now once again, like I said, like I can be petty. So part of me kind of gets that level of petty. But yeah, that was kind of weird for her to do, like hindsight being 2020. Because even though he was being negligent and partaking in dangerous parental activities by just not fucking paying any attention to your screaming, crying baby, the panic, anxiety that he probably had, and it still doesn't mean that he doesn't have a love for his child or he doesn't love his child.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, where the fuck is the baby? Like,
right.
What is gonna happen? Like, and what that might have put.
Oh my God. And I lost my child. Like,
I could go to jail. Like, you know, like that type, whatever.
now, one argument could be made that if she saw him beating that child when she looked in the window and came home early,
said
and
beating?
then she, beating the child, and she came home.
I'm sorry. Y'all would yell like this.
Yes. Yes, the child, absolutely.
Yeah.
Little baby in a full Nelson, like a tiny full Nelson.
Yeah. And y'all said that shit with all seriousness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for derailing conversation.
No, you're good. If she saw him neglecting the child in a violent fashion and she kidnapped the child, I wouldn't think that was kidnapping, because the function of that was to get the child away from a dangerous abuser.
Yeah.
So if that was what so maybe you could make the argument that a parent, I mean, but parents, all parents allow some level of yelling and screaming and crying from their, like that's a common thing that's not necessarily universally considered to be neglect. Sometimes
what is it?
There's arguments that it is
the self-soothing method of how to raise a child.
Right. Now there's arguments that is neglectful, but generally speaking, it's not considered universally to be neglect.
Some level, you're correct.
So like, especially if the husband said, no, I never let her cry. I take care of her. We agree. This is how we work. Like, you don't let a child sit there and cry. It's bad for it's psychologically traumatizing, blah, blah, blah. You know, she's sitting in a shitty diaper and developing a rash. If we want to call that abuse, and her kidnapping the child is actually just her taking back custody from a dangerous, like neglectful, abusive parent, cool. But that doesn't seem like what the situation necessarily was. It seems like it was more about retribution, about creating fear and panic. So,
yep, petty.
I don't know. I just feel like. So I ultimately agree with Eddie and Josh, but I will say that like there's some level of I feel extremely strongly, not even necessarily about like the crying aspect of it, but the fact that you were sleeping and actively trying to like drown it out so that you could sleep. Like children get into anything, and I don't know how old this child was. I don't know if that was
4
stated.
months.
Like children can get into anything, man. Shit can happen. Like.
Child gone, passed away.
That baby flip over the wrong way or some shit.
I
the
mean,
baby choke on something.
Somebody
like,
kidnapped your baby while you were asleep.
That's what I'm saying.
That's
right?
what happened.
like somebody was able to
You was knocked the
physically
fuck
come
out. Somebody
to your house, remove the
take the
baby,
shit.
and you were surprised.
Oh shit!
So
Right.
I think I'm
So,
more
yeah.
along the lines of thinking that your level of irresponsibility borders on negligence just due to you sleeping,
abuse.
not because like the baby was crying specifically, right?
Yeah.
Like if the baby was
Yeah.
silent and it was still that situation, like I would still probably feel the same way. I do ultimately agree with you both, but like I do think
I think
there's
you can have a bit of a conversation though. I don't know. Maybe that's me, but maybe that's me being too permissive because I'm like sometimes, you know, having a baby can be fucking like you said, Josh. You hate babies. Like having a
I
fucking
don't
baby
hate
is some
babies,
difficult
but-
shit. You abhor young humans.
Can
I
you-
feel like
Hey, Eddie, can you like cut in the part where he said like I hate children? I mean, I hate babies. Like he's like I don't
said
hate babies,
I
and then say
hate crying. I hate babies crying.
no, you said you hate the sound of babies. That's actually more extreme than saying you hate crying babies because it's like you hate the sonic existence of children.
Them
like,
niggas saying cuckoo cuckoo and shit, and you just like fuck
like
the fuck,
motherfucker,
man. What the
shut
fuck?
the fuck up. That's not even English. We speak
Yeah.
American in this household. Oh, stupid ass baby talking about some goo goo gaga. What the fuck does
Nah,
that even
bro.
mean? Goody
All right.
goo goo.
Well, see, now you're not being fair, okay? Because
Okay.
that was off the record, okay?
okay, yeah. I apologize.
No. It's fucking 4 cameras going, and this nigga said it's off the record.
Right, that was off the record. No. I have a weird relationship. Like that's why I don't have.
He explained it wild.
I know.
This
I know.
nigga said I got a weird relationship with babies.
Because it implies that it's like two-way. That like babies is also fuck shit. Like saying grown ass man. And he's like, look, man, there's a lot of nuance to the situation. Babies just as like a social class, they really be on some fuck shit. They need to understand their privilege. There's a lot of microaggressions. This baby was really mean mugging him, bro. He had to cook out.
Come on, man.
Having a full argument with
Come
the
on,
infant.
I love babies. No, like, bro, like y'all know I don't be working so good all the time.
Oh shit, bro. Hey, they're my soft-headed friends. They're the best. I love
shit,
them.
no, man, nah, but oh gee, I can't even fucking talk because it's not gonna come out right.
Didn't just let it come out wrong, man. You're good.
And then y'all gonna roast my ass for another like.
Yeah,
He
that's
got
what
Alvin,
happened.
wife got tears
up.
coming down his eyes and shit.
Oh shit!
Like I got a weird relationship with babies.
I got a weird relationship
One of
with
the
kids.
funniest
Right? It sounds so deviant. What the fuck?
What the fuck did the babies do?
I know,
Oh
like
shit.
Oh,
No.
fuck.
I don't hate babies, just the existence of babies. And if anybody hates babies, just goddamn eugenics Eddie Overgold. But anyway.
That's a fact. That's a fact.
It's just
Oh shit.
noise. Like external noise. Dogs barking, babies crying, like fucking neighbors playing loud ass music. Whatever, like that shit. I'm like, that's my inner old ass nigga. Like
Yeah.
I've been an old
Turn
man
that
since
shit down.
the second grade, bro. Like my teachers
you,
in the
brother.
second grade called me an old man all the way up until I was in high school, my nigga. I don't know exactly what it is. I just got an old ass spirit. I don't fucking know.
Motherfucker in recess, like y'all need to cut that shit down,
Cut
goddamn
that
it.
shit down. God, all this walking we
Ring
doing. Why?
around the rope, man. Y'all need to yeah.
said all this
Shut it down.
Shut it all down. But you know,
No, because what I was getting at was I think that having children is really difficult and really stressful
Yes.
and really exhausting. And I
Yes.
know it's probably on some male privilege shit to be like, yeah, well, women have to deal with it too, and da 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 da. Da. I think women also experience those moments of being, neglectful, not having enough energy, and being like, fuck, I just have to sleep. Like I need a fucking nap. Like I don't not love my kid. I don't want my kid to fucking die. But fuck, I gotta get into CVS. I gotta get some cold medicine. I don't have time to take this baby out of the car seat. It's gonna be 2 fucking seconds. I'm exhausted. And I feel like that kind of shit happens.
So
All the
I was
time.
with you. I was with you till you said this car seat shit. But like, yes,
I'm,
but
I'm happy to leave that in there because I think it's part of my
I think
argument.
I think you're fine. But like, I personally think that's like I draw a line at certain things. Like, letting your baby cry for a couple minutes, cool, why you gather yourself, why you use. So like, for example, like I say all the time, we, my sister has 6 children. I am very happy to have been intricately involved in the raising of like the oldest 3. So like it was very difficult at points, and like even more so difficult, even though I'm not there, but like when I go there, like just seeing like the level of exhaustion, because we have like there are twins in the family now, like the 2 youngest ones are twins. So like my sister said, like there was a huge portion of her life when like she could never use the bathroom alone. You know what I mean? Like like that kind of stuff. So like
if you're doing it by yourself, it's
and that's what I was going to say.
Was she?
No, she wasn't. She has an excellent support system.
Yeah.
Again, like I said,
I mean, sorry, I meant like unpartnered.
No, but no, like her my brother-in-law has been there the entire. I've said this before too, but I've known my brother-in-law my entire life. Like my brother-in-law has held me as a child. Like that kind of shit. Wow. He's a neighborhood guy.
Didn't mean to imply otherwise. I don't even know why I said that.
No, but you bring that up because I was actually going to go there. I was going to say that like even with the support system my sister had, like with my other sister, with like my brother-in-law's mother, like my brother-in-law himself, me at points, like it still got to a point where it was particularly like difficult to manage. You know what I mean? So like, yes, I agree that you take those certain points, but there's also lines to that shit. And I think that this crosses a line, especially when, like, per her, the guy wasn't participating in housework. Like, he wasn't working. Yes. He wasn't doing anything else. So my whole and like I would almost wager that as soon as she got home, like that he was like thrusting that child into her arms. So it's like, my nigga, why are you so tired? Like what's your excuse? True. What's your excuse, my nigga?
Yeah, he's lazy.
Because there are a lot of people that, again, like if you have lazy, it takes even just one child. So. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like even just one child with no support system is a lot. But like, my nigga, come on.
Yeah, it's like a couch. 2 people can move it easily. One person can't move it at all.
Absolutely. Shit, it takes a village to goddamn move that couch. There was one study I saw like about a year ago. It might have been like Scotland, Finland, or some very
Scandinavian, Nordic
type people, But this method of child rearing that they have works has clinically, psychologically been proven to work.
Stories. I love these African proverb stories, like where we talk about like a far off land. And we go like, the people of Saskatchewan, and then we tell some shit that we don't, they've got it all figured out. In Japan they eat more fish, so they live to 1,000. Like, but
Japan is also like a second
that is true,
thing to the point I'm going to make. Is with their kids, for one, their society is so safe. Like, you don't have to worry about somebody kidnapping your damn baby or fucking with your child in some inappropriate manner. They can leave their kids like outside alone in the stroller for like a little while the parents go off and do what they do. But even like if they're back at home, they don't always run to the kid whenever they cry, like over every little thing. Like they'll just let the baby cry out, but that also like just makes the baby become a little bit more independent, a little more self-reliant. But they're still like nurturing it. They're still nurtured and cared for. But it's not like every time the baby cries, "Oh God, what's wrong? What's wrong? Oh, rock-a-bye, baby, go to sleep." Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
right. 4 months old, you're old enough to know how to fucking handle your goddamn self, bro. Like, come on.
And that self-soothing method, has lots of,
that was a joke, by the way, folks.
Like proponents. But my logic would be that I think it needs to start older, right? So like your 4-month-old baby isn't necessarily like trying to work through their feelings, right? They're crying because they're crying because something's wrong.
Emotional intelligence has.
Yeah, they're, you know what I mean? Like they're crying because like they're uncomfortable, they're hungry. You know what I'm saying? Like like 4-month-old babies are like, they're not in a self-actualization kind of phase.
But some of them just be, you know what I'm saying? Just be complaining, like. They fed, they've been white. You know what I'm saying? Like some babies are just more. That
sound crazy. Some of them just be complaining.
I know.
They do. Like
that implies
this nigga got a complicated relationship.
I got a complicated
relationship with babies, man.
Somebody needs to check babies, man. We really live in a baby archy. You know
but check this out though.
That shit's crazy, man. They live in rent free and shit.
How really?
In parts of Japan, right? they send their 3-year-olds out to do errands.
I ain't never seen a 3-year-old, but definitely sub 8 for sure.
Yeah, like
Bro,
that.
I've
So some of
seen
that, some of
Okay,
that
okay.
stuff, like those videos and stuff, were like doctored and all that kind of stuff. But Eddie's right. There is like excuse me, Eddie and Josh, you're both right. They do have a really young age for like doing that. Versus like I'd say mainstream American society. I'd also say that niggas in the hood was 100% like doing shit at 8. But again, that's not
Fresh
that's
cream, a stick of butter.
A loaf of bread, a container of milk, and a stick of butter.
oh yeah, 100% like going to do that shit. I was paying I remember being terrified at fucking 8, and my mom used to send me in the city hall to pay the fucking water bill in person. She was like, I'm not getting out of this car. She was like, I'm just finna circle. I'm finna circle the block, so we don't gotta pay for parking.
Okay. I thought she was at the house and you had to get down to the. I was like, that's a lot.
No, she did drive down there.
That's not as crazy of a story.
She did drive down there. She was like, you
that actually seems like a good exercise in a way to get a kid.
That's
like,
mad intimidating, though.
That's what I'm saying, nigga.
That's
I'm
like being left alone at
at
the grocery store. When
I
she
used to
bring up the
hate that
food,
shit.
your mom.
Oh yeah. Oh man, I don't have any money. I don't even know how the economy works. I don't even have a job. I'm unemployed. This not even for me. This stuff not even mine. I don't even eat yogurt like that. That's hers.
Bullshit. It's bullshit. I don't eat plums, nigga. Damn.
Oh damn, they gonna make me wash dishes because you see some shit on TV like
right, exactly. They gonna make me watch this at the grocery store.
If only life really worked like that. You just go in there and you're like, look, man, I ain't got no money. I will stock the shelves for 6 hours if you let me get this.
I feel like that's a thing that had to have happened like in the past. Like for it to be like back in the 70s. I feel like that's a thing when they were like, well, get back there and wash some dishes. And
you're right. It's too prevalent in like older like pop culture representation for it not to have been like on some level a thing.
I think so. Because like people work for like room and board. People be like I feel like you walk into a diner and go like, look, man, I need a job. And they go, we don't got no money, but we got an apartment upstairs that don't nobody use. So, you can eat a burger at the end of your shift and you can sleep up there and we'll give you, that'll be your, like I feel like that really happened,
Yeah, absolutely. But that was when times were much simpler. When
Yeah,
you could
there's
actually
serial
kind of
killers
get
everywhere.
by on shit like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It was a crazy fucking time. You could just goddamn disappear off the face of the planet. Nobody would know where the fuck you went.
Yeah, man.
Well, I think that's the end, folks. So look, if your partner can't distinguish between apologizing and admitting guilt, you might be seeing a red flag. But at the same time, bro, if you got a weird relationship with babies, it might be you that's waving the red flag. It's been waving the red flag. Look, we all waving some red flags.
Hey,
it's been Waving the Red Flag podcast. It's been Eddie. It's been Alvin. It's been Josh. We'll see y'all next week. Obviously, if you want the full podcast experience of the Discord, of the lives, of the bonus episodes, all that stuff, join us on Patreon. Like, subscribe, definitely do like. That shit helps us, with the algorithm and that.
Comment.
We'll see y'all next week. Comment.
Just say comment.
Keep it respectful. Keep it respectful or disrespectful, depending on who you talk to. You know what I'm saying? But watch your mouths. We'll see y'all next week. Peace.
My nigga really hit him with the whoop. Time to be hitting that old dusty trail.